I had just hit send on the contract that would change my life. $500,000 deal closed. Commission, $15,000. After 2 years of grinding in software sales, eating rejections for breakfast, and working every lead like my life depended on it, I'd finally landed a whale. That's when Brenda appeared at my cubicle like a shark smelling blood in the water. "Congratulations on the Hartman Industries deal," she said, her smile not reaching her eyes. "We need to discuss the commission split." I spun around in my chair, confused. "Commission split? What are you talking about?" "Well, obviously we'll be splitting it 70 to 30. 70 for me, 30 for you. That seems fair given my mentorship. My name is Natalie, and I'm a 27-year-old sales representative at a B2B software company. When I started 2 years ago, Brenda was the top performer, the one everyone looked up to. She'd been there 8 years and had a reputation for being cutthroat but successful. In my first month, she'd shown me around, given me a few tips about the CRM system, and introduced me to some people at a networking event. I'd been grateful at the time, thinking I'd found a mentor. But that mentorship had lasted maybe 3 weeks before she moved on to bigger things, barely acknowledging my existence for the next 23 months. Until now. Until I'd closed a deal bigger than anything she'd managed this year. "Brenda," I said slowly, "you had nothing to do with the Hartman deal. I've been working this lead for 6 months. Her smile turned condescending. "Oh, Natalie, you wouldn't even know how to approach a client like Hartman without everything I taught you. Remember when I showed you how to use the proposal template? When I explained our pricing structure? That knowledge is what got you this deal. You showed me where to find the template on the shared drive," I said, incredulous. 2 years ago. "That's not mentorship, that's basic onboarding." "Don't be ungrateful," she snapped, dropping the fake sweetness. "I made you what you are. Without me, you'd still be cold calling mom-and-pop shops. This commission rightfully belongs to me." I stood up, matching her height in my heels. "The commission belongs to whoever closed the deal. That's me. My name is on the contract. My signature is on the proposal. My phone number is what Jack Hartman has saved in his contacts." "We'll see about that," Brenda said coldly. "I'm sure David will be very interested to hear how you swooped in on a deal I was cultivating." David was our sales director and Brenda's golf buddy. My stomach tightened, but I kept my face neutral. "Go ahead. Tell him whatever you want. The facts speak for themselves." She stormed off, and I sank back into my chair, my hands shaking. The high of closing the deal was rapidly being replaced by dread. Brenda had been at the company for 8 years. She had relationships, influence, a track record. I was still relatively new, even after 2 years. Who would David believe? Then I remembered something that made me smile. 3 months ago, after a particularly nasty encounter with Brenda where she'd tried to steal one of my leads, I'd started recording our conversations. It was legal in our state for one-party consent, and I'd wanted to protect myself. I pulled up the app on my phone and hit record, then went back to my computer to forward myself every email, every communication related to the Hartman deal. An hour later, David called me into his office. Brenda was already there, sitting in one of the leather chairs with a tissue in her hand, eyes red like she'd been crying. "Natalie," David said gravely, "Brenda has brought some serious allegations to my attention. She says you stole the Hartman Industries deal from her." "That's absolutely false," I said calmly, taking the other chair. "She showed me emails where she was communicating with Jack Hartman months ago," David continued. "It seems clear she was working this deal." I pulled out my phone and opened my email. Those emails are from over a year ago, when Hartman was looking at a different product. They passed on it. I can show you the rejection email if you'd like. Brenda's fake tears stopped. "That doesn't matter. I maintained the relationship." "Actually," I interrupted, "you told me, and I quote, 'Hartman is a waste of time, they'll never buy from us.' That was in January. In the break room. You want to know who else heard you say that? Monica and James were both there." David looked between us, frowning. "Brenda, is this true?" "She's twisting my words," Brenda said quickly. I was using reverse psychology, encouraging her to. "I have recordings," I said simply. The room went silent. David's eyes widened. Brenda's face went from red to white. "Recordings?" David asked. "After Brenda tried to steal my Pembroke Industries lead 3 months ago, I started protecting myself. I have recordings of her telling me Hartman was a waste of time. I have recordings from this morning where she demanded 70% of my commission for mentorship. I have every email, every call log, every meeting note showing that I worked this deal alone. You recorded me without my consent. Brenda sputtered. One-party consent state, I said. Completely legal. Just like it's legal for me to keep the commission I earned. David held out his hand. I need to hear these recordings. I pulled up the app and played the conversation from that morning. Brenda's voice filled the room, clear as day, demanding my commission, claiming she made me what I am. David's face grew darker with every word. When it finished, he looked at Brenda like he was seeing her for the first time. Is there more? He asked me. 6 months' worth, I confirmed. Including the time she told me to falsify my call logs to make it look like I was working less so she could argue for a bigger territory. And the time she accessed my Salesforce account to reassign my leads to herself. And the time. Stop, David said, holding up a hand. He looked at Brenda. My office. Now. Natalie, please wait outside. I sat in the hallway, my heart pounding. Through the door, I could hear muffled shouting, Brenda's voice getting higher and more desperate, David's getting quieter and more controlled. 20 minutes later, the door opened. Brenda stormed out, not even looking at me. Her face was blotchy, her perfect makeup ruined. Natalie, David called. Come back in, please. I sat down, unsure what to expect. First, he said, I owe you an apology. I had no idea this was happening. Brenda has been manipulating the system for years, apparently. Your recordings shed light on several other situations that now make sense. I just wanted to protect myself, I said. You did the right thing. Your commission is yours, obviously. Every penny. And I'm promoting you to senior sales rep, effective immediately. It comes with a base salary increase and an extra 2% commission on all deals. I blinked, stunned. Sir? The Hartman deal alone proves you deserve it. But more than that, you've shown integrity and intelligence in a difficult situation. Those are qualities we need in leadership. What about Brenda? His face hardened. Brenda no longer works here. Security will escort her out as soon as she's done packing her desk. We're also going to be investigating all her past deals to make sure she hasn't stolen credit or commissions from others. I left his office in a daze. Word spread through the sales floor like wildfire. By lunch, everyone knew what had happened. My phone buzzed with texts from colleagues thanking me. Apparently, Brenda had pulled similar stunts with at least 4 other reps over the years, but no one had ever had proof. Monica stopped by my desk. Girl, you're my hero. She tried to take credit for my Maxwell Corp deal last year. I complained to David, but she convinced him I was being emotional and misremembering things. I'm sorry, I said. That must have been frustrating. It was. But you know what? Seeing her get marched out by security today? That made it all worth it. By Monday morning, the full extent of Brenda's manipulation was becoming clear. IT had found evidence that she'd been accessing other reps' accounts, stealing contact information, and even sabotaging deals so she could swoop in as the savior. Legal was now involved, and there was talk of criminal charges. I sat at my desk, my new desk in the senior rep section, and looked at my commission statement. $15,000. It would pay off my student loans and leave enough for a nice emergency fund. But more than the money, I had my reputation, my integrity, and now a promotion. My phone rang. It was Jack Hartman. Natalie, I heard through the grapevine there was some drama at your company about our deal. My stomach dropped. Mr. Hartman, I assure you. Relax, he laughed. I also heard you handled it like a pro. That's the kind of person I want to work with. In fact, I've been telling my CEO about you. We're looking at expanding our software suite. Think you could handle another $500,000 deal? Absolutely, I said, grinning. Good. Oh, and Natalie? That other rep, Brenda? She called me Friday trying to convince me to say she was involved in our deal. Offered me a kickback from her commission. She what? Don't worry. I recorded the call and sent it to your legal department. Nobody likes a cheater, especially in business. After I hung up, I sat back in my chair, marveling at how quickly karma had worked. Brenda had tried to steal my commission and ended up losing everything. Her job, her reputation, possibly her freedom if the legal charges stuck. 3 months later, I closed the second Hartman deal. Commission, $18,000 this time with my new rate. Brenda was facing fraud charges for her kickback attempt and the account manipulation. Several former reps had come forward with their own stories, and there was talk of a class action lawsuit to recover stolen commissions from over the years. I used my commissions wisely, paid off debt, invested in professional development, even took a nice vacation. But I also did something else. I became an actual mentor to new reps. Not the Brenda kind, where you do the bare minimum and then claim credit for their success. Real mentorship, where you help without expecting anything in return. One day, a new rep named Carlos came to me, excited about his first big deal closing. "I wanted to thank you," he said. "Your training sessions really helped. You closed that deal," I told him. "Your work, your commission, your success. I just showed you where the coffee machine was." He laughed. "And the proposal templates. And the pricing strategies. And how to handle objections. Still your deal," I said firmly. That's how real mentorship works. I succeed when you succeed on your own merits. A year later, I was promoted to sales manager. During my first team meeting, I made one thing crystal clear. In this team, your success is your own. Your commissions are your own. We support each other, but we don't steal from each other. Anyone who thinks differently can find another team. The sales floor had never been healthier. Without Brenda's toxic influence, people actually collaborated. They shared leads that weren't right for them, but perfect for someone else. They celebrated each other's wins. Revenue went up 40% in 6 months. As for Brenda, last I heard, she was working at a used car lot 3 towns over. The fraud charges hadn't stuck, but her reputation in professional sales was destroyed. She'd tried to apply to several companies in our industry, but word had gotten out. Nobody wanted a salesperson who stole from their own team. Sometimes I think about that morning when she appeared at my cubicle, so confident that she could just take what I'd earned. She'd probably done it dozens of times before, to people who didn't have recordings, who didn't stand up for themselves, who believed her when she said their success was thanks to her. But she picked the wrong target that day. And in trying to steal my $15,000 commission, she lost everything. The recording app is still on my phone, though I rarely need it now. It serves as a reminder that protecting yourself isn't paranoid. It's smart. Document everything. Save everything. And never, ever let someone else take credit for your work. Success is earned, not stolen. Commissions are earned, not demanded. And real mentors celebrate your achievements. They don't try to claim them. If you're facing a similar situation, remember, your work is yours. Your success is yours. Your commission is yours. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. And if they try, well, make sure you're recording. Thank you for watching my story. Stand up for what you've earned. You deserve every penny.